Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Austin Lyon, and welcome back to another episode of Frolfcenter, presented by Frolfer Magazine. It's the
That's us.
24th of June. Adam, Cody, the boys, what's happening?
Living the dream.
Same old, man. How are you?
Cheers. Not,
You still doing Chat Point Dubs? Is that still kicking off?
I'm not running it this weekend, but Chat Point Dubs is still a thing on Sunday mornings, 10 o'clock. Contrast putting with Brian Gort next Thursday. If you're not tuning into Frolfcenter, be there.
Is that
At contrast.
Even if
It's
you're
at Contrast.
Nice.
I believe it is at Contrast. Yes.
Brian Gort putting clinic, so that'll be good, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a pretty decent putter.
Does he
Yeah,
still
he
putt with Novas?
No.
No.
McPrez.
Yeah, you're thinking somebody else. Shout out to the dudes at Red's Beer Garden for the in-town putting league. Hope you're having a good time. After school special 5, AS 5, continues tomorrow night at Ferguson Park. It'll be the short pads tomorrow night. Sign up around 5:15. Tee off.
Back-to-back short
6
pads?
p.m. sharp. Yeah, well, it started on longs last pad because you took a week off and it had to. Or was it shorts? No, it was shorts. You're right. Longs this week. Never mind. Paul Bell will put it in the comments anyway. And if you're going to Don Shannon on Saturday, I'll see you guys there. What's up, Cody?
Oh, just living the dream. Sorry to all my friends up here. I had to cancel doubles on Wednesday. I was feeling a little under the weather. Still kind of am. Be out there next week, 5:45 start, Lee Farm. Join us. And I'm doing as good as always.
All right. We got a lot to talk about, I think. And so we're going to get right to it. Tonight, we have none other than the head honcho over at the PDGA Board of Directors. It's El Presidente himself, Mr. Justin Menickelli. Hello, sir.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up?
Look, he's got shades and everything.
Nice.
When in Rome.
Yeah.
Hey.
When
Justin,
in the basement in East Atlanta. Yeah.
Justin, thanks for coming, man. Where are you at right now?
Thanks for having me, man. I'm in my office, which is an hour west of Asheville, North Carolina.
Nice.
Not a bad spot.
Yeah.
It's a great spot. So I love it here.
Tell us about your first round of disc golf ever. Where was the course? What discs were you throwing? Who brought you out there?
Man, I'm not real sure. I played Ultimate
Okay.
until around 2004, 2005. And I know that because I got married in 2004.
Ooh.
And so our wedding disc, if you're a hardcore Ultimate person, then you have a wedding disc as your wedding favor. And so my wife and I's wedding disc from July 31st of 2004. So I was still playing Ultimate then. I played in a little kind of a club in New York, which was really just a pickup game that lasted a decade. And then I went to graduate school at LSU, and I played. So I played collegiate Ultimate for LSU, which was really awesome. We had a great team. Our team captain went on to win the Callahan, so that was a great experience. And then around 2004, like really, just prior to our wedding, we traveled across the country. We went to a friend's wedding in Hood River, Oregon, and I brought all of my golf discs, which were like 4 of them, and played courses on the way to Oregon and in Oregon
Nice.
and back. So I played a good bit of like traditional golf growing up, and so in my mind, I was always going to play disc golf. Of course, there's an cool old disc golf course in Baton Rouge. I never played it, and not even once. I remember this guy bringing his little bag to Ultimate practice, and I remember looking down at it like, what are those frisbees? And he's like, oh, these are golf discs. And I'm like, oh, he's like, go ahead, throw one. And I remember reaching into the bag and picking up whatever disc looked the least like a Ultra Star. So it was probably a driver, and I'm sure I fan gripped it backhand and fluffed it, and it just crashed, faded like crazy. No glide, or not much glide, not like a platter,
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, this is dumb. I'm going back to ultimate practice. And so I just wasn't into it. But in my back of my mind, I was always gonna kind of pick it up. So I started to play a little bit in 2004, and then actually the early morning before our afternoon wedding in Asheville, my buddies and I went and played the old Richmond Hill in Asheville. So I played disc golf the morning of my wedding. So
nice. I think Cody, didn't you throw a disc with Kate off a cliff?
Yeah, we threw at our wedding. We did synchronized throws off a big mountain. It was pretty fun. What about the last round you played? When's the last time you got out there?
The last round I played was yesterday. I played on our little campus course. We have a 18-hole course on our campus at Western Carolina University that I designed 2000 something, I don't know, years ago. So it's a mile from my house, so it's proximity.
So one of your former students reached out to us, Adam Martin. He lives in Atlanta, baseball player.
Yeah.
Said he took one of your disc golf classes. What do you teach besides disc golf, and how many disc golf classes do you think you've taught?
The answer to the second question is I'm not real sure. I've taught disc golf for years for academic credit. In fact, the first time I taught it, there was no course. Like there was no, we had a disc golf course, but there was no academic course.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I'd like to teach it. What am I going to do? And then I realized that we had an academic course called Beginning Golf. And so I just piggybacked off of that, and then I spread the word around that, hey, this is not going to be traditional golf with a ball and clubs. This is going to be disc golf. And word traveled so quickly that the class filled with a bunch of people eager to play disc golf. And so that's how that got started. And that was, over 10 years ago.
Nice.
In addition to that, I teach biomechanics, motor behavior, and sports psychology.
Okay.
Nice.
Sweet.
So that's a good group of things to know as a disc golf. I mean, that's right there. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
How long were you playing disc golf before you decided to make it, something more than disc golf?
What I'm not sure what you mean, but could you rephrase that?
I
I'm
mean,
not sure
you're the president of the PDGA. At what point did you say, I want to move into something higher than just, your recreational player?
I think it was just a gradual thing. I mean, so I was teaching disc golf, and there's no textbook. So I thought, well, I'll write my own textbook, and then. This guy that I know, a good player named Ryan Pickens out of Asheville, someone said, hey, Ryan Pickens is writing a disc golf book too. And I was like, oh, okay. So we got together, over a few pints in Asheville, and I said, hey, let's collaborate on this. I want to write more of a textbook. He's like, oh, well, I want to write more of a trade press. And I'm like, okay, well, we can meet in the middle somewhere. And so we just started at it, man. And we just, we just started writing, and it took us a good bit of time. It took us like three and a half years. And,
wow.
But we got it done, and we had, surprisingly, we had like 3 or 4 publishing offers. And we were shocked.
What year was this? What year was this that this was happening?
This is 2000. It came out in 2016.
Oh wow! Okay.
So it's actually behind me. It's the one with Paul Macbeth on the cover.
That's quite the flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I wrote that.
It's actually been sold really well.
Awesome.
Sold super well, and got tremendous reviews. And so that was, that I guess kind of started it. It started me getting really interested in being more involved in the PDGA and stuff like that. So the book came first.
How long had you been on the board before you decided to be, you wanted to be the president? Were you at all on the board prior?
Not very long. No, yes. Well, I ran for the PDGA board kind of on a whim. I had met Dan Stork-Roddick, PDGA number 3, as you know, who's just awesome. Just one of the greatest human beings I've ever met. And I'd met Brian Graham, who was then the executive director, and they were super helpful with the book, because I needed some help writing the history chapter, and I wanted to interview Stork. So I interviewed Stork and Brian and a whole, a lot of folks for the history piece. And I got to know Stork and Brian fairly well. And I said, I think I'm going to throw my name in the hat in the upcoming election for the PDGA board of directors. And they were very supportive, but they were also like, Menickelli, you're great and everything, but the odds of you getting elected are pretty low, because you got this book that just came out, which is awesome. You're doing great things, but you're not a professional player. You're not a TD. You're not really well known. So don't be bummed out if you don't get elected. And I was like, oh no, that's cool, man. I'm just, I'll just throw my name in. We'll see what happens. I didn't even tell my wife that I was running for the board. Nice. And I didn't even look at the election results. Like, Brian Graham had to call me and say, hey, you got elected. And I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And my wife was like, hey, when were you going to tell me about this significant volunteer opportunity? I'm like, honey, I didn't think I was going to get elected. The guys are telling me, like, oh, you're probably not going to get on. So it was a crapshoot. And so I was elected. I think that was 2016 or 17. And then I was on the board for 2 years. And then I ran for president of the board and was elected president of the board. And now I'm finishing up my second term. So this is 6 years. Mm-hmm. And at the start of my second term, I self-imposed a 2-term limit.
Okay.
Nice. I said I'm going to go with both feet on the gas for 6 years. I'm going to work as hard as I can, and then I'm going to rotate off, and I'm going to let someone else, some fresh blood come in and do their thing. So I'm rotating off.
As board of directors president, what is exactly your role in the PDGA?
Well,
what do you do?
Oh God, how much time do we have?
We've got all the time.
In an ideal world, what is your where are you on the pyramid or in the TO? Like, what's the?
I mean, you're not the president of the PDGA, but you're the president of the board of directors, correct?
Correct. So
okay, got it.
We're a not-for-profit, and so we have to have a board of directors,
correct.
And we have an executive director who's Joe Chargloff.
Correct.
Brian Graham was the previous executive director, and so the executive director reports to the board of directors.
And the board of directors being a member from every state, correct?
The board of directors are, there are 7 of us. They are elected by the members of the organization.
And that's the election that you guys are seeing the stuff about now that's happening now. I mean, it's literally ongoing at this moment.
Yeah, July. You can vote any day, I believe, in the month of July or most of the month of July. So you vote for your board of directors, and then the executive director reports to us. Mm-hmm. And the staff technically report to him. So I'm not the boss, but I'm like the boss's boss.
You're like you're
the middleman from the boss to the bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the boss reports to us.
Yeah.
So, and then you report to them.
and then I report to no one. I only report to our only report to our members. I'm only responsible for our members. I don't have to. That's the beauty of it. I make $0 and 0 cents. It's a totally volunteer gig. I report to nobody. I really answer to nobody, other than our members. So
you basically have no decision over like anything. You don't make decisions. You just pass along information.
I make a lot of decisions along with the board, but we make them all behind the scenes.
So why did they cancel the Directors Cup in 2019?
That's a good question. I don't know why they canceled the Directors Cup.
This was pre-pandemic and everything. Yeah.
I think the plan is to bring that back in a different format. I'm not sure why, if it wasn't working or what. I've not been to the Directors Cup, but I think the plan is to move forward with that, maybe in a different direction.
Okay, got it.
Gotcha. All right, so in the lead up to this, you had sent us a message saying, hey, I'm not afraid of tough questions. Have at it. And, of course, the PDGA right now they're having a heck of a time on social media today and yesterday after some things that are going on in Utah. I wanted to get your take on a couple of them. Nothing crazy. Do you know any backstory behind this driving range debacle?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Because I know Brody's story differed from the PDGA's at one point, and I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know if the stories differ. I thought it was kind of a jerk move, honestly, on behalf of Brody. I mean, like, it was good. It was a good move to ask someone else at the facility, at the golf club, like, hey, can we get this driving range? Because apparently the local, organizing committee, the TD or whomever had approached them, and they said, no, you can't use it. And
they were just holding on to that for themselves, I guess.
Yeah, for the golfers to use, and so which is cool, whatever. And but Brody somehow got him to say, okay, you can, it'll be $1,000 for a day or whatever. And so why I think it was a little bit of a jerk move on his part was because he could have just gone to the TD. Mm-hmm. And if he didn't like the answer he got from the TD, he could have gone to Todd Lyon or any one of our boots on the ground and said, hey, man, we need this driving range. Can you make this happen? And they would have made it happen. And even if he didn't do that, after the fact, he could have then gone to the PDGA instead of blasting it on social media or Twitter or wherever. He could have just gone to the PDGA and said, hey, this is what happened. And they would have taken care of it right away. In fact, I know for a fact that the PDGA took care of it and said, oh, okay, sweet. We'll get the driving range for the rest of the week. And in fact, offered Brody a reimbursement.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
And Brody was like, no, bro, I'm cool. So, it's just,
he's real cool.
He's just trying to build his brand, and that's his whole thing. That's what Brody's best at, right? That's what he's best at, is building his own brand,
he's
promoting himself.
Yeah, he doesn't mind turning heel for a couple of days to get some clicks.
Exactly.
Do you have any insight on the story about the paint lines?
I don't have any insight on the story about the paint lines. Like, I don't know what the deal is with the paint lines, or
is that something the PDGA, is that the local team that should have had that figured out, or is that a PDGA comes in and goes, hey man, on Sunday, like, I don't know about this. Like, do you have any idea on that?
Both, for sure. I mean, I guess I'm a little surprised if there's OB lines that are, if in fact there are OB lines that need to be painted or flagged or whatever. I'm really surprised that they weren't done by the local folks, and B, that Sean Sinclair, and Sean Sinclair can be a tough bird, right?
Yeah.
He likes what he likes.
Yeah.
But he's really good at coming in somewhere and being like, oh, this isn't going to work, dude.
Yeah.
You got to fix this shit right now.
Yeah.
This has got to be fixed, and like, that's his wheelhouse. So, like, if Sean was made aware of it, then I'm honestly surprised that it didn't get done. So
just these are the things that are on Twitter, and I figured what better time than now to talk about them, right?
No problem.
Yeah.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah, you got one.
Oh, my bad. What is the most common misconception about the PDGA?
That the PDGA that we're not, we meaning the board and the staff, that we're not like really cool people. Like we're not like everybody, all the other cool cats. Like the staff, they're awesome. They're really awesome, hardworking. Most of them underpaid, underappreciated folks who just want to make the game better. You know, we're not this high and we're not like the NBA, or we're not, sitting around making a bunch of money. Someone asked me how much, someone said, "Oh, I heard you made 6 digits a year as the board president." I'm like, I make $0. Like people come up with the craziest shit, dude, and tell me, it's just all wrong. Like what's the thing that people get wrong? We're the good guys.
That is it. I mean,
we are the good guys.
You're the suits, though. You know what I mean? Like if you were,
we're not the suit. We're not whiff diff.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We're the good guys, not the suits.
Right. But I mean, that's just a natural, common, like damn the man kind of thing that everybody has in these niche sports.
And they're just wrong. They're dead wrong.
They're dead wrong.
They're dead wrong.
All right.
So does the board of directors have any say in events at IDGC? Like, is there a process?
I suppose we could, but we haven't talked about events at the IDGC before.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have.
And it is the International Disc Golf Center, right?
What
Yes.
What do you think is one of the most? Is there like you've already said a couple, but is there like a most ill-informed hot take you've heard about the PDGA? Is it the money making, or is there something else?
Yeah, I mean that's probably it. That we make a bunch of money and we spend it on ourselves or whatever. I mean, people seem to get a lot of stuff wrong, and I think we have a relatively new marketing person, Danny Voss, and I think he's doing his darndest to get the word out about what the PDGA is really all about. I mean, we have over 80,000 active members now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When I started on the board, we peaked at like just over 20,000 active. And so now, like, I mean, with 80,000 members, like, some of them are going to be assholes. I mean, that's just what happens. Like
the bigger the punch bowl, the more room for turds. You know what I mean?
Well put.
Yeah.
Who decides the budget for the PDGA?
The board in conjunction with the executive director.
Nice. Yeah, so there's input there too. And is it, in that case, does the board vote and the executive director has a tie-breaking or veto or anything, or is the board of directors steering that entire ship?
We vote to approve the budget, but Joe Chargloff, the executive director, along with a lot of folks, our accountants, we have a new accountant. We have external people. Of course, we're a not-for-profit, so we have like auditors. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of financial people that look over all that stuff, that deal with all that. So by the time it comes to us on the board level,
you're just like, that looks good, sure. Yeah.
We're like, okay, are we good with this? All right.
We hit the numbers
pretty much. Yeah.
So somebody else was asking it. One of the viewers had asked about, when was the last time, and it sounds like you kind of answered it, the PDGA does third-party audits of their own books all the time, or is that a every so often thing, or when there's a problem sort of thing? Do you know?
Every year.
Once a year, yeah.
Are those results public?
That's a good question. I don't know if I doubt the like formal audit results are public for any not-for-profit.
Right.
But I'm sure the summary stuff is somewhere. If someone wanted.
I mean, at this point, why is the PDGA still a not-for-profit?
That's a really excellent question, and that's an excellent question. And
I mean, we're bringing in over
Yeah.
7 figures.
There's actually some talk. There's always been some talk, and there continues to be some talk of that perhaps the PDGA should not be a not-for-profit anymore, and we should be a for-profit entity. There's always
I just watched the USGA US Open last week, and it was absolutely amazing what they put on, and I can only imagine what the PDGA could do with the money that they're bringing in. Something along that caliber.
Yeah. So you're saying that there are some thoughts about that floating around.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. There's always been talk of us being a for-profit. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Is that why the PDGA doesn't put a bunch of money up into tournaments?
We spend we redirect almost all of our revenue into tournaments.
Just straight into tournaments?
Yeah. But not just NTs, but like C tiers. C tiers and B tiers, That's people say, where's my money go? Well, first off, if you're an AM, you're paying $50 a year.
Yeah.
Which I understand is a lot of money for some people. But that is not much money to join any organization.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so where does your money go? It
barely covers the insurance and stuff.
It barely covers the insurance. We redirect our revenue into programs that further our mission, which is to grow the sport of disc golf globally. And so your money goes right into what I would just say competition.
Yeah.
So if you're not into competing at any level, is it worth it to join the PDGA? Well, it is if it's only $50 and you're like a philanthropist and you're like, I just want the magazine and I want to be part of something bigger, and so it's $50. Who cares? Sure, then it's worth it. And if you're into competing, even in leagues or C tiers, lower level kind of competition, then it's absolutely worth it because that's how we spend our money. That's where our money goes.
Yeah.
Correct. I get that. And we're on the talk about it. Has there been talks about separating a PDGA and an ADGA along with the lines of becoming a not for profit?
Like a pro versus AM, or
correct? Having an actual professional disc golf association aside with an amateur disc golf association, which kind of puts towards the grow the sport side, and then have the PDGA being the USGA, so to say, of the PDGA.
There's been no talk of that at the PDGA because right now it would be a disaster.
Right.
So that's kind of that's something that the DGPT people.
Well, there goes all your revenue
as being
separate the yams.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we would maintain most of our revenue. It's that the pros would be the one hurting. We don't make a lot of money off of the professionals.
No.
So they would be in big trouble, right? I hear a lot of comparison as of late, this year. They're like, oh, why PDGA? Why can't you be like the Disc Golf Pro Tour? They're so super cool. I'm like, what did you start playing yesterday? The Disc Golf Pro Tour was touch and go.
It was a trash fire.
Thank you. Thank you, trash fire.
Steve Dodge, man. Steve Dodge is the reason I got into a little bit of disc golf media because I was so mad at the guy that I had to say something. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
It's one engine went down, the other engine went down. Luckily, they had 2 more engines. And
Dodge is a good guy with good ideas.
Yeah, it was a bad era for the DGPT with him, though, for whatever reason.
Well, because he's a great idea guy.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't for whatever reason he didn't hire and he didn't trust the throngs of people it takes under you to get things done, and that's okay. That's all right. He's moved on. Everybody's moved on. But you said dumpster fire or whatever. It was touch and go, and that was a couple of years ago. So for people to come out and say, "Oh, why don't you be more like them?" The other thing is they're not turning a profit.
No, right.
They're not making any money.
Right.
They would be dead in the water, other than the fact that they've got a financier,
and that's
Todd Rainwater, who's apparently the only thing I learned from I think it was a Vox article, or it could have been Sports Illustrated, one of the articles about Paul Macbeth when he signed the big deal. The one thing I did learn, I'm like, Todd Rainwater, where does he get his money from? And it said like son of Texas oil billionaire. I'm like, oh, so he's got some money. Okay, good
his
for
real
him.
last name is Rothschild. Yeah.
Yeah, Kennedy. I don't know what he is, but he's got money. So good and good on him. I'm not slamming him. That's great. It's awesome that he's putting it into disc golf. So
does the
great guy.
Do you think the DGPT knows what's their break even year? Do you have any idea what their trajectory is if they're still suckling at the teeth of this guy?
I think they'll be. My prediction is I think they'll be in good shape next year.
Yeah, next year. Cool.
And Spring's a great guy.
Yeah, for sure. And he's
great guy, smart guy,
really in tune too.
Yep. Awesome
really
guy, Jeff Spring.
Okay, I want to ask him out. So we kind of touched on it earlier. Paige Pierce a couple weeks ago had some really harsh words about the conditions and the scheduling and adequacies coming up to USW DGC. And then Brody goes and rents a driving range for $1,000. Paige gets mostly positive, 90%, 95% positive reviews and saying good for you for saying something. Brody gets murdered, right? Yeah, he's getting hate tweets and all this other stuff. My question is, does disc golf have a gatekeeping problem, or does this demonstrate the disparity in the value of their two different commentaries in the sport? Like, no matter what Brody does, he gets flamed. Paige makes good points and gets rewarded for him. If Brody says anything like what Paige says, he gets flamed. Is it disc golf culture doing gatekeeping, or is it because Brody's points aren't nearly as valid as Paige's are?
That's an interesting question. I guess I disagree a little bit with the premise of the question. I thought Paige got roasted.
Oh, see, I didn't see much roasting. I saw a lot of positive. Thank God someone saying something.
I didn't see a lot of roasting, but I heard a lot of roasting.
Oh, you heard it? Yeah. No one out there is doing it.
No, people were not
signing their
publicly roasting her, but behind the scenes, she got roasted pretty hard, and I think she deserved it, honestly, because I think she was being disingenuous.
You think?
I think her behavior was disingenuous, and I think it was self-serving.
All right. I didn't expect that answer, but I know, there had been talk, and somebody else kind of said something like that too. They're like, really wish she hadn't gone to camera-facing spot, camera one, and said, "Hey guys, what are you doing?"
Well, she acted as though she didn't know ahead of time that there were 3 courses. Like if you watch the video, she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're playing 3 courses. How am I supposed to prepare for 3 courses?" It's like, did you just find that out today?
I mean,
that there were 3 courses?
Was it like 6 months that information's been out?
It'd been longer than that since she knew there were 3 courses. And by the way, the OTB Open, that was what, like 30 minutes away?
Yeah.
Like you're right there. I mean, like the Hawaii thing, it's like, whatever, you want to go to Hawaii, I don't care. That didn't. Yeah. And there were some. Well, I don't care if you go. Good on you. I'd like to go to Hawaii too. The throwing. Someone said there were talk of her throwing down on or throwing up on people. Throwing down or throwing up in a practice round. You got to give people a pass, right? Practice rounds are when you accidentally throw down on people, and practice rounds.
People throwing 3 or 4 shots, you can't not expect to be thrown in on.
Yeah, and you're like, let me throw them. Okay, let me try my driver. Oops, right? Like that. Practice rounds are when you lose your disc, right? You're like, I lost that disc. And when you accidentally she gets a total free pass on that. Yeah. But this total self-serving behavior of hers, in my opinion, I thought it was totally self-serving.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. All right.
I kind of you've persuaded me otherwise.
Do you know who picked the spot? Do you know who picked the venue? Do you know who picked California?
No.
It was not the board of directors. The women's committee picked that spot. So to say Paige acts like she speaks for all women, and then some other women piled on how dare you? It's like, no, look, man, the board of directors and the majors committee recommended that the U.S. women's actually be somewhere else, but the women's committee were like, hey, we want to have it in California, and here are the reasons why, and they were totally valid reasons why. Like the OTB's
seem
right
like
next
beautiful
door. It'd be great for California. Like we haven't had it in California. Like we rotate those events. Like U.S. Women's, we rotate around.
Right.
How do you feel about this Worlds in the middle of the season?
Look, I'm not on the majors committee.
Yeah.
And I'm rotating off the board. So I'm
Right.
I'm gonna let my opinions fly.
It's gonna let the
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
I think this might sound completely insane, but I think we should consider having Worlds at Smuggler's Notch in August, if every year or for the next 3 or 4 years, and let people complain about having to fly to Vermont if they want. But the reason that some of these historical majors, I'm talking about USDGC, really. Like you guys, I'm sure you guys have played Winthrop. It's like it's long and hard, but it's not like super fun unless you can throw a 550-foot hyzer. I mean, it's not.
But it's that sought after competition year after year at that same course.
It's the same course, the same place. You got the same basic people running it every year. It's the same time of year. It's that continuity that makes it great. Honestly, not the course, it's the continuity. So maybe we should strive for continuity and just say the heck with it. We're going to have Pro Worlds at Smuggler's Notch for the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, whatever. We're going to have AM Worlds in Charlotte.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's what we're doing. We're going to have U.S. Women somewhere else. You know, we're going to sum for the next foreseeable future.
What if you just rotate them every 4 years? You do a 4-year bid.
And then maybe do the same thing with the USDGC too.
Yeah. I mean,
is that hard words?
Rock Hill. That's up to the folks in Rock Hill what they want to do. But
yeah. All right. Oh, Austin's favorite question's coming up.
Oh yeah, no. So let's talk about some rules now. What needs to change, or actually, who's on the rules committee? Are you part of like saying yes or no to rules?
The board of directors is the last stop on the train. I'm getting a terrible echo.
Why are we terrible echoing?
It's Cody with an issue there.
Cody, change your mic.
I got him. I'll let him know. I got him muted.
Yeah, what needs to change? Like, are you part? Like, so you're the last stop for rules.
We're the last stop on the train. Ideally, it's a rubber stamp where we say, "Okay, it looks great."
So, has the step putt or like the jump putt or like the line of the circle been talked about at all?
Very little.
Very little.
Really?
There seems to be no change. There seems to be no change.
Yeah, Cody, you're still doing it.
No, there'll be no. Yeah, there's been very little talk about that on the rules committee. Very little talk on the board level. People love the jump putt.
Yeah. So we had like Vanessa Van Dyken on. She was saying she thinks it'll change. There are pros out there who literally think there's a change coming in the step putt, and you're saying that's not what you're hearing at all. Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, me personally, I like it and love it, but I also might hate it. And God, I hate that echo.
Yeah. All right. That's a good. Any other rules you think could use a second look?
Well, Dan Stork-Roddick and I, who became fast friends, I'll let this out. We would like to see the holing out rule change.
Yeah. Completing
the whole rule change. Yeah, because it just got too weird for me, and in class, when I would teach it in class, what I would do is I'd say, I'd drop the disc in the basket, let it tickle the chains and land in the bottom of the basket.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, that's in. And then I'd take a disc and I'd shove it through the top.
Mm-hmm.
And through the top, boom.
Right,
okay,
right.
Did you see that? That's not good. And then I would say, okay, I'd put it through the top again. I'd say, all right, everybody, close your eyes. It's funny because some people actually close their eyes.
Yeah. No.
I didn't really mean
We
it.
pray. Yeah.
And then I would shove it through the top again. And I'd say, oh, that's good.
Okay,
You know,
so
it's like my way of saying that's a dumb rule. Like if it's in, it's in. I don't care if it came through the top. I don't care if it bounced off a tree. So like
Yeah.
in should be in my
I mean,
opinion.
that's part of the nature.
Yeah.
so that's your move. Is in. That would be what you would change.
If I could wave my magic wand and change it, I would change that. In fact, I would say if it's resting anywhere on the metal, not a leaner.
So if it's sitting on top of the basket,
Yeah,
Good.
because you can take
Good.
your mini and mark your disc in the basket. The law of verticality. I never understood.
Yeah, all good. It should be all good.
Mm.
All good to me. That's
all
just
those
me.
times that I've asked, is that good when it's on top of the basket just as a
Not good.
joke?
It should be good. Who cares? How often do you do that? It's hard to land it on the top. It's harder
No
to land it on
kidding.
the top than it is in the basket.
Okay.
What is what's the PDGA need is desperately in need of in terms of resources? What's the biggest resource the PDGA needs right now?
We always need volunteers.
Yeah.
So if you're someone who, whenever people complain, they don't complain to me often, but if they do complain to me face to face about something like the rules or like whatever it is, I'll say, that's an excellent point. We need somebody for the rules committee. We need somebody for the women's committee. We need somebody for the diversity and outreach task force. We need people for this and that, and we need someone to help the local TD in Austin or wherever. Like, we always need volunteers. And it's funny, as soon as you ask someone to volunteer after they complain, they're like, "Oh, yeah, it's not that tragic, dude."
Well, I give you $50 every year. Why don't I get everything I want?
Yeah, why don't I get everything I want?
Yeah, exactly. I can get like one Wasaki Destroyer if it's like an 8 out of 10 for $50. Oh, why can't I get everything else I want from the TD for $50?
What's one thing disc golf could do without, besides the basket rule?
What could we do without? Man, I don't know if there's anything we could do without. I mean, we could do without the haters, I guess. But we could do without the PDGA haters, or just the people that hate on whoever for whatever reason. I mean,
haters are clicks, and I know Brody knows this. Like, that's part of the whole thing. But yeah, here's as a nonprofit, you're not looking for clicks. It doesn't do you any good to get clicked on.
Yeah, we don't need eyeball. I mean, eyeballs are good on our tournaments and good for the sport, but we don't need clicks, right?
There's the gentleman on the podcast on a Thursday night. I got you. I mean, it is what it is. It's outreach too. It's advocacy, we'll call it.
And I honestly, when I first saw you guys like pop up somewhere in a newsfeed or something, I'm like, oh my God, who are these clowns? They got sunglasses on. Is this another, whatever?
And you had the cojones to say that to me.
Is this a clown show? Like,
no,
what
it is. It is. Totally is.
What is this clown show?
I saw the sunglasses. I thought y'all were clowns, but then I watched the show. Let me know if I can get on sometime.
It was good. Yeah, I was like, well, they have got good guests, interesting guests, and they're asking really good questions. I watched a ton of them. I'm like, well, no, the sunglass thing is just what it is. What it is. These guys are good. You guys are good. I appreciate it.
We're just trying to hide the ugliness behind.
Yeah, we're just terrible. Ugly.
Same.
Same.
Okay,
Yeah, you feel it.
We touched on it earlier again, but I wanted to know. It seems like the relationship between the PDGA and the DGPT is pretty good. It's pretty on solid ground at this point, you would say?
Super solid.
Super solid. And is there any bottleneck or friction coming in a world where we're making a lot more money 10, 15 years from now where they might butt heads? Is there something they're both trying to get to that they're going to have to fight over at some point?
I mean, possibly. If you're talking that far down the road, but
sure. Right
now, no. Joe Targaloff, he talks to Todd Rainwater all the time. Mm-hmm. They're tight. I talk to Jeff Spring all the time, mostly about Vermont and mountain biking, but sometimes about disc golf. So
that's Jeff Spring's place, right?
Yeah, and I'm from up near there, so
tell Jeff to give us a call. We got some things we'd like to ask him too.
You want Jeff on the show? You're saying?
Maybe we do. Yeah, he's a little scared.
All right, yeah.
I'd like Jeff on.
Jeff Spring's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome guy. So we're tight. Like, that's the other thing that you hear from other news outlets. disc golf
Right,
outlets, like, oh, well, you guys don't work. You never work together. You don't even like it. And it's like, no, dude, we talk all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to. I mean, you got to figure out who's parking which RV where. You got to figure out who's getting the power. Where's the generator? Can I borrow an iPhone cord? The whole thing, top to bottom.
Scheduling, mostly scheduling stuff.
Mostly scheduling.
Yeah. Who's doing what when? Yeah.
Cool.
So can you give us a generic definition from the PDGA of sportsmanship? Or your version of sportsmanship?
Well, my version of sportsmanship came out in 2000 something. When I'll take most of the credit for it. I did have some people, some input, but I came up with the disc golfer's code.
Oh, okay.
So
that's huge. That's nice.
Thank you.
See it everywhere. I get stickers every year with it.
Yeah. So, and that's super basic, but it's like,
yeah,
we were struggling with.
It's starting to become a staple on every course.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. There's not many words there, but if everybody did that, if everybody was basic, because when we were talking about sportsmanship and sports personship or whatever you want to call it, when we were talking about that, I was talking with predominantly Stork, but Brian Graham a little bit too back then, and Mike Downs and some others, and I grew up in upstate New York. Pretty close to Vermont in the Adirondacks. That's why Spring and I have a lot in common, because I used to ski Smugs growing up, and so there was always a skier's code, and the skier's code is like, now it's skiing and snowboarding, but it's like three bullet points, or 1, 2, 3. It's like super simple, and it's like a little bit of like kind of a rule, like don't throw when other people are in range. Just like the skier's code is like, you are responsible for everyone downhill of you.
Yeah.
So you can't take someone out who's downhill of you. That's on you, Yeah. And so it was kind of a little bit of mixture of that. And then, like, hey, be cool to the course, and then be cool to other people. It was just kind of that's how it started, was we just want people to be cool and be nice to each other and be responsible and teach folks, just be cool.
It's good for the neighborhoods too. I feel like disc golf is growing to the point where we're going to see some neighborhood pushback. Like the parks are going to be full, the parking lots are going to be full, the amenities are going to be full for the folks who don't know what disc golf is at their local park. And having that disc golf code up there gives it some legitimacy to the folks out there who maybe aren't disc golf minded. Somebody walks in the park, goes, "Why is it so busy? Why are all these craft beer cans everywhere?" At least disc golf has the code to say, "Well, we're working on it. We're work in progress." Yeah.
So speaking of everybody being nice to each other and all that, how long until players don't have to self-officiate at World Championships and national tours or just majors?
Oh, that's interesting.
The top three cards don't have to officiate themselves.
Yeah, I feel both ways. I feel a little bit both ways in this. Like, on one side, I'm like, man, you got to make the call. Like, you're on the card. You're supposed to be a professional. You're making money. You're whatever. Like, if somebody takes forever, if someone's taking 3 minutes to putt, then you have to call that person out. It's like you're protecting the field. The term, like, protect the field.
Yeah.
You're protecting the rest of the field. You have to call people on your card for that stuff. And so people are like, "Oh, I don't want to be the bad guy," or it's like, well, too bad.
You don't.
Too bad you're playing, man. You're like, it's up to you to make the call. The other side, I could totally understand, where like it would be totally reasonable, I think, to have some kind of officials present, especially maybe towards the end of the tournament, lead card, chase card, whatever. We can't have an official. I don't think we can have an official on, nor do I think would you want an official, honestly, on every card, because you're gonna have to find a lot of people that are really good at making
volunteers.
More volunteers
helping out, please.
But every volunteer has to be a PDGA official.
Everybody's all 700 people at Worlds have to be a certified official.
We have one viewer question. We have a couple viewer questions, but I'll go ahead and ask one, and then I'll let Austin grab one and Adam grab one.
Yeah.
But Ryan Watson wants to know: is the PDGA ever going to start drug testing, and why?
Is the PDGA going to start drug testing? Probably not.
Probably not.
not.
I'll take my chance.
Will disc golfers get drug tested? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what they do.
No, it depends on who's testing, is what we're saying, right?
Yeah, like we are the PDGA. We're not going to drug test people. Not in any.
Not
near
before a
future
tournament
at
or
all.
nothing.
And
Yeah.
also, no one's volunteering to hold the cup. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a job. We already need volunteers.
Not until there's at least 7 figures on the line.
Yeah.
I would say not until there's like Olympic consideration.
So
if we want to be in if you want your sport to be in the Olympics, you have to have some kind of drug testing protocol.
Yeah.
So if we want to be in the Olympics, which I don't know if we do or not, but if we did, then
I think that's
Brody Smith would be pumped.
there'll be some drug testing.
Yeah.
I mean. So is there anything more that the PDGA can do to like recruit more tournament directors? Like, is there like a
Yes. Yeah. What? Yeah.
Yes. And
What's
we've
next
done
in
it.
line?
We just did it like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Spill the beans. I didn't see it. Didn't hear it.
We hired for a ham sandwich. Basically, we hired Mike Sullivan.
Dope.
Mike Sullivan, not
Really?
not the prodigy Mike Sullivan.
Oh, okay.
That guy.
That guy is not a tournament director.
He's not a tournament director, and we couldn't get him for a ham sandwich.
No, absolutely
Mike
not.
Sullivan, Sully, who was on the board of directors, but did not run for re-election, so he resigned at the kind of the last. He only had a month left, and so that we the PDGA could hire him as somebody who's going to reach out to current TDs and future TDs and provide information, education, Q&As, very likely regional seminars, teaching moments, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And
I kind of think this can go back to like a for-profit organization and where we can start running seminars by the PDGA.
I think you're trying to make it a pyramid scheme, Austin.
I think you want them.
I mean,
and I'll say this about Sully:
if I could make money doing it, I would do it.
he goes by Sully. Well, you can make money running tournaments if you want. Sully,
well, yeah, I know that.
Sully will teach you how to do it. And he goes by Sully. Sully's great. He is very smart. He actually has a JD, which is Juris Doctorate. So he's a lawyer. He got a JD from the University of Virginia. So he's got this very impressive law degree. His dad was a big time lawyer, but he just is not. He just got tired of being that guy.
Yeah.
He got tired of that lifestyle, I think, and just being this, uber aggressive trial lawyer. He didn't want to become one anyway, and so. I can't believe we got him, but we got him, and he just started. In fact, he's in Utah. This is his first assignment is in Utah, he's awesome and very, very bright and very, very hardworking.
We had
he's probably the one that decided to paint the lines out of Utah.
I was just gonna say I had a very brief interaction with Sully on Twitter because I put up the in stock and aisle number of the white spray paint at the Ogden, Utah Home Depot. And he immediately hit me back. He goes, "That's the wrong paint. You need the nozzle down one that goes on the stick." And we already got it. Thank you.
He's on it, dude.
That
guy's on it. He's on it. So, we're going to recruit more because we're short on TDs. Mm-hmm. We need TDs. We need TD education. And that's what Sully's going to bring to the table. And I'm here to say that guy is awesome. He's really good.
Me and Jay Pointer up here in Durham are going to do a TD tournament directing teaching class. So tell Sully to hit us up. We'd love to have him come out as well.
yo, you need to hit him up. Like, you need to go to him and say, we want you to help us, and this is what we want from you. We want this and this and this. Can you help us out? And he's a guy that says yes. I mean, he's a guy that says yes. I will help you.
Let's bring him on, do an hour on the show about
what's that PDGA email address? Is it sully@pdga.com?
You can't give that out. The world's listening.
It's probably M Sullivan at PDGA.com.
There we go.
If he's got it set up yet. Okay, I've got some questions about.
Hold on, I got one more. Hold on.
Go ahead, Austin. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, jeez.
Did you have one more, Austin?
No, I don't. I don't have one more. No, I lost. It's gone.
Anyway, so I've got some questions about the IDGC. A couple of viewer questions, and one of them was, can you just basically explain to people what the purpose of the International Disc Golf Center is?
Yes, the purpose of the IDGC is to have a brick and mortar place to call home, and to house. We've got offices there for Andrew Big Dog Sweeten, who's awesome, and some other folks. That's where their offices are,
right?
And to also showcase to anyone who wants to come visit 3 awesome courses there. And that's another misconception. People are like, what is that costing us? Well, guess what it's costing us? It costs us like nothing. Like, we have some deal with Columbia County, I believe, in Georgia, like this super killer lease that the proceeds from the pro shop during a given year will cover the lease. So it costs us nothing.
That's amazing.
And it's just it's we've outgrown it, but a lot of people know.
Does it also cover the employees that are there?
The employee salaries?
Yeah. We had a viewer question. We got a viewer question here. Henry Hamilton wanted to know. It's been rumored that the IDGC is or may separate from the PDGA payroll and staff. Is the future of IDGC in question?
Not to my knowledge. I've never heard anything like that.
All right. Well, there that is.
I have no idea what that's about.
All right. I got one more viewer question. Then we're going to get to the fun stuff. I got 2 more. Pop or soda is one of them.
Soda.
Even if you're going to Wegmans.
Wegmans. That's an upstate New York.
Yeah, I'm a Southern Tier boy. I'm from North Geneseo area. So
it's Coke.
Geneseo. Oh yeah, I had some friends that went to SUNY Geneseo.
Dude, I did a lot of Geneseo. Was a lot of fun to me. My buddy Matt Huddle wants to know any media ambassador roles in the future with the PDGA. This is a media guy. He's been in the movie business and stuff.
Media ambassador. I mean, maybe. I mean, you got to reach out to our media team.
There you go.
And ask.
Hopefully that answered the question. All right, we're gonna do the fun questions. It's been about an hour. We try to keep it around there.
Sure, yeah.
All night. I didn't wear a diaper tonight, so we got to kind of hurry it up. What would you be doing if it weren't for disc golf? What are you doing after you get out of this part of disc golf? What do you do?
What do I do in my life, or in?
Yeah. What is your non-disc golf passion?
What do you do for a living?
What's that?
What do you do for a living if you don't make money from the PDGA?
Teaching, right?
I'm a college professor.
Nice. And you have another passion outside of disc golf? Craft beer.
I do love craft beer. Local. I do like local as you can
What's your favorite brewery down in Nashville?
Burial.
Do you say Burial?
Nice.
Yeah. Burial and Creature Comforts just collabed on a beer, and it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You have to send me those yeast samples.
Oh, I got to send those yeast samples to Cody. Yeah.
I want to like some other local breweries, and I do like some other local breweries, but that Surf Wax that Burial makes. Yeah, see, Burial's so good.
Mm-hmm. They're so good.
Every time I'm like, God, it's good.
Yeah, everything about Burial. This is my favorite brewery, and I live in Atlanta. And I shouldn't say that out loud, but I love those guys.
It's good, yeah. My passion outside is mountain biking.
Okay.
I started mountain biking around 1987.
What do you ride on? What are you at now?
Right now I have a 2020 stump jumper.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Austin knows anything about mountain bikes. We just want to
Oh, bullshit. I know that's the same one Dylan's got. It's a mountain hopper. What is the brand?
Mountain hopper? Get out of here.
I have a specialized stump jumper. It's a carbon suspension. badass. You'd love it. Oh, it's beautiful.
Specialized. Yeah, I knew it was specialized. I'm
Yep.
just, I have a couple beers. All right, so we're foodies. What is your favorite meal?
I really like seafood, so I like fish tacos and anything with shrimp or like I just love seafood.
No shell food.
Are you a cook
here.
yourself? Are you a chef?
Well, I don't. I'm definitely not a chef. My wife and I have 3 children, aged 14, 12, and 7. So
we make chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese.
Chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. Pick up the phone and order pizza. My wife's from Long Island, New York. Where they cook using the phone, right? It's like yeah.
Okay, chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. We're having that for dinner.
All right. So who would your celebrity doubles partner be if you could be paired with any celebrity?
Do they have to be alive? I guess they do.
But we would like an alive one after your dead one.
I'd like to play. I'd like to play with Bob Marley if he was alive because I just think it would be fun and cool, and I like Bob Marley.
You said play. Can you jam? Oh, you said play disc golf. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to play disc golf with Bob Marley. Celebrity alive? I don't like. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with like actor names and like. Man, I don't know. I don't really have a celebrity.
The dog we got.
I think Bob Marley counts as
Ziggy Marley would be the alive.
I'd be down with Damien
play
or
with
Ziggy
or Phil Mickelson. I would play with that guy. I'd play disc golf with
Cavs.
that guy too.
Lefty.
All right, Matt Hudnall wants to know again. What's your 3-disc round? What 3 discs are you taking?
I'm taking 3 DX Rucks.
Yes.
Man after my own heart. What's your walk-up song?
My walk-up song. How about Mountain Song by Jane's Addiction?
Okay. That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a really good one.
All right. Now the most important question is, what is the Waffle House order?
The Waffle House order is. I don't know if I'm at Waffle House, man. It's a
lot of
it's been a long night.
It's been a long night. The Waffle House order is definitely some kind of omelet with maybe a Western omelet. How's that?
Okay, that works. Hash browns, all the deal.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah,
and everything greasy.
Cool. Any superstitions while you're playing disc golf?
Or in general, or just any superstition.
Yeah.
I don't have any superstitions, but I don't have my phone on when I'm playing disc golf.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Agreed.
So don't ask me to keep score on PDGA Live or UDisc.
For the directors.
My phone is in the glove.
Don't ask me to do it because I don't
in the glove
my
box.
phone.
Not doing it.
That's been the easiest transition to tournament directing is live scoring. Holy shit!
Oh my god!
You don't add shit up.
Great too.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Just I'm just not that guy.
Yeah, sure. Understood.
Nah,
All right.
So for our 14 viewers watching right now, if you guys have any more questions, please ask them now. But the last question, as always,
how many mountains can you hop on your stump jumper?
I don't know. I try to keep my
a couple mounds.
I keep my wheels on the ground.
Okay, yeah.
How many stumps?
That's an expensive bike to be keeping on the ground now.
It's an expensive bike to come off the ground. Is really the way I think. I don't want to pay for any new shit on it, man.
You can get a Corolla for that bike.
You got to pay to get it oiled and greased every once in a while now. All right, sorry, we're getting carried away.
So, Justin, do you have any questions for us from Frolfcenter?
Yeah, I do actually. When did you guys get started? I mean, I kind of know based on your feed, but why did you guys start this? Why did you guys start this podcast or this show?
Yeah, so during COVID, the Atlanta Disc Golf Facebook page turned into a morass of just absolute insanity of people arguing about whether or not they're supposed to go play disc golf. Can you touch the basket? Should you even be going to get gas to go? All that stuff. And it just became like a moderation nightmare. Frolfer Magazine had existed as an articles and dumb stuff kind of page. We did a bracket of all the Atlanta disc golf courses, and every day everyone voted. We had a little write-up about each course, and they battled down to come up with the best courses in Atlanta by vote in the group. And for the last day of that, we did a live podcast just to release the results of it. And it was so easy to do this that Cody and I were like, let's just keep doing this. And then Austin jumped back in. Austin had been part of this crew for a while. So it started with COVID, and this is a little over a year now.
And Scott Stokely said yes, the first person we ever asked.
And still has the most views.
Oh, nice.
He was just like, sure, I'll do it. And then that, gave us positive vibes to ask more people. And we've only had a few people tell us no, and it's some of those really top dogs that are just too busy. Or
they were having a bad week, and we asked them, and they're like, no, not right now.
Yeah.
But most everybody says yes, and we're sticking with it because one day you'll look back at this in 10 years and be like, oh, Katrina Allen,
18-time world champion.
Yeah, 8-time world champion was on our show.
Gomez was on a podcast. Gomez never gets on podcasts,
Yeah, who is Jonathan Gomez?
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't
far
had
does he
him
come
on
out?
yet, have you?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
we had John.
I got to write that down because I missed it.
We had Ian.
Yeah, that was a good interview, actually. Very good.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for
Dude,
you.
yeah, this has been huge. I
really
very much
appreciate
appreciate you.
I'm gonna
Thank
put
you.
you on. I'm gonna put you on the big screen. Tell everybody what they need to know about you, about the PDGA, how to follow you, how to support the PDGA, everything you want to say. I'm gonna put you on the big screen, and then we'll say goodbye to you, my friend.
Thanks.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming.
Justin.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, you don't have to follow me. I don't think I'd follow me. I just think I would join the PDGA. It's inexpensive. It's awesome. I think you should become part of the PDGA family. You just got to do it. The biggest regret people have is not joining earlier, because you want to get that low number, as low a number as you can get. So join as soon. Everybody says that, man.
So
They're like, oh, if
crazy.
I just joined a little earlier, I would have had a lower number.
The cloud of a 5-digit right
Yes,
now.
the cloud.
Dude, the cloud of a 5-6 right now is insane.
Yeah. So just go do it. Just go join right now. Just
Awesome.
do it.
Thank you,
We
sir.
were at a tournament last weekend, and you could add me and my wife's numbers together to equal one of the dude or the wife that we played against. It was
Oh, that's funny. Anywho, thank you, Justin. We'll talk to you
Thank
next
you,
time.
Justin. We'll talk to you again, buddy.
Outside of disc golf.
Please come back on.
Woo, that was fun.
Man, I want more time with Justin.
Yeah, dude, that was good. We got to do that again soon.
I really wanted to rail into him, but I realized he's not the guy I wanted to rail into.
No,
he's not.
we
He's
wanna
the guy
rail into
trying
big
to
dog.
trying to take it to where it needs to go. Yeah, we were like,
No, like,
man, we're gonna get real
It
dirty.
definitely
about
opened. It definitely opened my eyes and made me sit more equal with the PDGA. Talking to him.
Well, yeah, because you have more power.
I enjoyed that.
I think a lot of people didn't realize how this all worked, where the board of directors takes the input of the constituents and then funnels that into the actual legal body of it.
I think this is actually a PSA. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think this is actually a PSA to you need to vote for
Yeah,
your
exactly.
board of directors, and they listen to you and they input what you're trying to input.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this is
I
important.
think that's
You
it.
have an email about it. We're not
Every time, every
I'm not
email that
shilling-
you get, it's ignored.
Let's make this very clear. We're not shilling for the PDGA, but I'm going to say, just like in the real world, if you don't vote, you don't get to bitch about it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, let's not get into politics. I'm Austin Lyle. Y'all have a great night.
Yeah, bye, buddy. I'm Adam. Thanks for watching. Hey, we have a good guest next week, too.
Oh yeah, great guess.
It's Keith and Brandy. We're doing the Boomtown Show. So yeah, watch next week for the Boomtown Show, and we might even have a little teaser about the hats that are coming out. Love you, bye.
This week's giveaway. If you are going to be at Boomtown and you can guess the color of the suit I will be wearing at Boomtown, I will give you something for free. Cody Vitale, love everybody. Everybody love everybody. Have a good night.
choppers. Can I get a fucking... Oh, yeah?